Yes, good morning all. So early you have come. Yes, who is? Yes, Varun, bolo. Varun, you can speak. You can unmute and.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Sir, I had nothing to say, sir. Just I wanted to wish you good morning. That's all.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
And Venkat, you message to the co-host. Okay, na? Everybody, message to the co-host. Venkat is asking, sir, to remove an electron from an atom, should we provide or remove energy, sir? Okay, very good question, Venkat. Let others also join. I will explain you in little more detail. Okay, na? I thought of discussing a point related to this only in today's class, and you also have asked it as a doubt. I will tell you what all this energy concept. Okay. Everyone done the breakfast? Morning. Didn't do the breakfast. Why there? You should do breakfast. It is 8:30. By 8:15, you should do breakfast. That is a good time. And then by 12:30, 1 o'clock to take the lunch. And then by 8:30 to take the dinner. That is a good time, na? And snacks you can take at 4:30, like that. That is not good, Venkat. Taking coffee and all. Or you take some fruit juice. Fasting. Very good. Ahmad. Okay. Okay. Oh, time gone. I thought it is the extra time, so I was talking casually. Okay, let's come back. We'll start with the concept. But what happened? Only 40 plus are there. What is this? I think still a few more minutes will take for others to join. Anna? And some of you are some of your batch is changed. Anna? JBR1, JBR2 batches are changed to JBR4. Still, you have to join on time, Nana. We are having a 1 hour class only. It should not, it's a very small class, Nana. So we should not waste the time. To maintain the size of the batch, because to maintain the size of the batch to be decent, 100, around 100, we have made it into a separate batch. It is exceeding. Surya, sir, this class only for JB MDP1. Yes, Nana? This is JB MDP1. Correct. Okay, so I can't, we should not wait like this. 2 more minutes only I will give up to 8:35. I will see and then we'll start it. You try to log in 5 minutes before itself. Try to be ready. 5-10 minutes before itself. Supreet, you don't know which batch you are in. How did you join for this class? Supreet, you are in JBR 1, na? JB MDP 1, JB Madhapur 1. Yes. Sai Shrisha, good morning. Abhilash, good morning. No, already changes are done. Over. Changes are over. From Monday onward, changes are over. If you are here, means your batch is this only. Got it? Yes, Jayant, good morning. Raju, what is JA, sir? JA is a different one. JA starts much before than JB. That is in quota. Okay, na? But here we are having only JB. Yes, Rahul, Abhiram. Shashank. Good morning. Ask if any doubts are there till then, till 8:35. Okay, 8 already became 8:35 now. Now, I'll close the chat. Listen to the class seriously for next 40-45 minutes, and then we'll give you the opportunity to ask your doubts. Okay, na? Chalo. So I'll share the screen. Yes. We were discussing ionization energy and electronegativity. Na? Okay. So one point, one of the student has asked the doubt. Is it the energy we supply to the system? There was some doubt starting itself. Venkat was asking to remove an electron from an atom. Removing an electron from an atom is nothing but ionization. He's asking about ionization energy. Should we provide or remove energy? Should we provide or remove energy? That means to the system, this is the system. Atom is a system here. So to this system, should we provide energy or remove energy? Understanding? Here, for the removal of electron, we have to break the nuclear force of attraction. To break the nuclear force of attraction, we have to supply energy. We have to provide energy. Right? Or you say like to the atom, we have to provide energy. We are providing energy, then what atom is doing? We are giving. What atom is doing? It is taking. Atom is taking the energy. So if any system takes the energy for any of the work, if any system is taking the energy, absorbing the energy from the surrounding, then that process, you can call it as endothermic process. Endothermic process. Understanding the point or not? Energy is absorbed by the system, by the atom. Therefore, endothermic process. Understanding the point? System is absorbing energy, therefore it is endothermic. Okay. And another point, I thought of explaining. Where is it? This is not S. So ionization energy is always endothermic process, na? Here energy will be absorbed, here energy will be absorbed, here energy will be absorbed. So always ionization energy is endothermic process. This point also you add here. These are the extra points I am giving. So add these points here. This is one point you have to add. This is another thing you have to add. Ionization energy is always exothermic process. Sorry, endothermic. Na? Ionization energy is always endothermic process. Removal of electron is always endothermic. Always endothermic. Got it? Either it is IE1, IE2, or IE3, IE4, IE5, whatever it is absorption of energy only. Absorption of energy only. If you want that point also, I will tell you, see, if system, atom, species absorbs energy, then it is endothermic. Where from it will absorb energy? Where from it will absorb energy? It is the energy it will absorb from the surrounding. We are there in the surrounding. We are there in the surrounding to the atom. So from us, it is taking the energy. That means we are supplying energy and atom is taking the energy. So with respect to atom, it is endothermic. And with respect to us, it is exothermic because we are giving energy. We are losing energy. So with respect to us, it is exothermic. And with respect to system, atom, it is endothermic. We are talking about atom. It is all the concept. It is with respect to atom. Therefore, overall, it is endothermic. Got it? If system, atom, or species absorbs energy, then it is endothermic. If system releases energy, then it is exothermic. Understanding the point? Then it is exothermic. Everybody understood this point? Clear enough? Very good. So copy this one or already copied. Anybody still copying? These are the new points I have discussed, Nana, today. I'll make them with the different color. This point I have discussed today separately. This point. Don't miss any of the single point. Okay. We don't know. Question will come from which one. It can come from any of the point. And also, if possible, attend the classes from the laptop or desktop. Okay, na? If not available, ask your parents to arrange for a laptop or desktop. That is the best way to learn. Mobile will not work at all. Mobile will not work at all. Don't listen the classes through mobile. And also eyesight problem also can come. Those who have completed down the hand fast. And clearly those who by heart already have learned about periodic table, who has by hearted the whole table, definitely will be one step ahead of the other students. Okay, for all these CBC exams. And up to 30, anyway, you already know, along with the element, symbol, and atomic number. Yes or no? Up to 30. Those who have completed, down the hand. Hari and Abhilash, fast Nana. Don't join late and make it delayed. Everyone. Yes, Abhilash, are you there? Yesterday also you were not responding. I don't know. Abhilash, I think he keeps the class open. Yes. So going to the next concept, this is the fifth periodic property. First one, effective nuclear charge. Second one, atomic size or atomic radius. Third one, electronegativity. Fourth one, ionization energy. And now fifth one, electron affinity. Electron affinity, EA. It is denoted by the symbol EA. Electron affinity, it is the one second. Electron affinity is also called as electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. It is the amount of energy released. It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. Isolated gaseous atom. That means it is opposite to ionization or not? It is opposite to ionization. Ionization is a removal of electron. Yes or no? Electron affinity is addition of electron. Electron affinity is addition of electron. Suppose if I take an element A in gaseous state, isolated gaseous state, to this element atom A, if I add an electron, what do I get? A minus in the gaseous state. So during this process, when to a neutral atom, if you are adding an electron, there will be release of energy out. There will be release of energy out. Energy will be released. Energy is released. This energy released is called as electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. And here energy is released in a So what do you say? Electron affinity. Therefore, EA is exothermic. Yes or no? EA is exothermic. Electron affinity is exothermic because there is release of energy. This is what we have taken. If system releases energy, then it is exothermic. Got it? Electron affinity is exothermic. Suppose to A minus, you are adding an electron. Will the energy be absorbed or released here? To the A minus, you are adding one more electron. Then will the energy be absorbed or released? See here, this is a neutral atom. To the neutral atom, you are adding an electron. Into the valence shell of the neutral atom, onto the valence shell of the neutral atom, you are putting an electron. So the nucleus, whatever is present, it will be attracting the newly added electron. Therefore, energy is released by the atom. Energy is released by the system. So you are calling it as exothermic. It is the addition of second electron. If you are adding the second electron, already the number of electrons got increased here. Already the species is negatively charged. Earlier it was neutral, therefore there was no repulsion for the added electron. But this atom is now negatively charged. Negatively charged. The surface is with excess electron density. Then to such valence shell, if you are adding an electron, will the species, will the atom A minus will repel the next electron added? Yes or no? This is a negative particle. This is also a negative particle. So when a negative particle is trying to be added to another negative particle, there will be repulsion. Electrostatic repulsion will be there between negative and negative charges. So the second added electron is forcible addition. So there will be absorption of energy. That means here electron affinity. Now what is this? This electron affinity and this electron affinity you have to distinguish. So I will take it as EA1 and this as EA2. Understanding? So EA2 is, don't copy, endothermic. Why? Because energy is absorbed here. Energy is absorbed here. Okay. Because to the anion you are adding electron. So anion will repel the extra added electron. Therefore, energy will be absorbed here. That is endothermic. Another point is there here. I will tell you, see. Another point is there here. I will tell you. Electron affinity EA or electron gain enthalpy delta H Eg. This is a symbol for electron gain enthalpy delta H Eg. Understanding? And for many of the elements, if you add an electron to the neutral atom, energy will be released only. Therefore, EA1 is exothermic. But for some atoms, like noble gases, let us say for some atoms like a neon, let us assume. To the neon atom, if we are adding the electron, will neon show interest to accept the electron? No. Already neon electronic configuration is filled. So you need to forcibly add the electron because already the system is stable and you are trying to destabilize the atom by adding an extra electron. So atom will try to not to get destabilized. It want to be in a stabilized form only. But you have decided by any way you want to add the electron. That is forcibly you are adding the electron. In such a case, energy will be absorbed. Energy will be absorbed. That means first electron affinity may be exothermic or endothermic. Understanding the point? First electron affinity may be exothermic or endothermic, whereas the second electron affinity is always endothermic. With this point, third electron affinity will also be, third electron affinity means what? Addition of electron to A2 minus to form A3 minus. And fourth electron affinity means addition of fourth electron. From second electron affinity onwards, all will be endothermic. First electron affinity may be exothermic or endothermic. We don't know to which atom you are adding the electron. For most of the atoms, it is exothermic only. That is why the generalized definition also. But noble gases, like some elements will be there for which addition of electron will be endothermic. Understanding? Therefore, from EA2 onwards, always endothermic. EA2, EA3, EA4, EA5, all these will be endothermic. Understood this point? Everybody copy this page. Raise the hand, whoever is copying. Very good. Take it. Take it fast. See, whenever you are sending, you are asking something through WhatsApp, it is your minimum responsibility that you have to tell about yourself, who you are, in which batch you are, what is your name. Without that, directly you are asking. That is why for most of the students, I am not responding. Is it or not? You should say like, yes, sir, I am so and so student. I am your student of this batch, and I have doubt in this one, sir. Are you asking an unknown person? You go and ask any unknown person on the road. Even they also will ask you, who are you? Why you are asking me? These all points we have to learn. How to deal, how to get your information. What is the way in asking? If you remember, we have told you even in the meeting also. The director told you even in the meeting also. First, you introduce yourself and then ask your doubt. Understood or not? Your name, batch, and so doubt you are having. Every time you have to give this point, this information, because we are teaching to thousands of students. Here, at least I am teaching to 3 of your batch, that is 300, 350 students, and then 200, and then almost 800 students I am teaching here. How do I know who is who? Okay. I'll keep it in mute. Everybody completed, Nana? Down the hand once it is completed fast. It's small points only. First electron affinity may be exothermic or endothermic. Second electron affinity onwards, definitely endothermic. One second. One second. Here I have written mistake. This is EA1. This is EA1. Addition of first electron. Correct it. This is EA1. EA1 may be exothermic or endothermic, but EA2 onwards, definitely endothermic. Down the hand once it is completed, fast. Sai Teja and Subhash. Very good. The next point, we have discussed about what is electron affinity. Anna? Electron affinity we have discussed, and if you want diagrammatically also, a small diagram you can draw also. If this is the atom nucleus, to the valence shell you are trying to add the electron. You are trying to add the electron. Okay, this is to the valence shell you will be adding the electron, yes or no? To the outermost shell you will be adding the electron. So like this, a small diagram also you can make for your better understanding. So now coming to what factors will affect this electron affinity. Electron affinity is directly proportional to Z effective, yes or no? Electron affinity is directly proportional to Z effective. Why? What is the reason? If this is the atom nucleus, and if Z effective is more, nucleus has a high Z effective, let us assume, then the electron kept in its surrounding, in its vicinity, will be very much readily pulled by the nucleus, yes or no? If Z effective is more, means nuclear attraction is more, it will aggressively pull the electron towards itself. So electron will be added very fast. Adding the electron very fast indicates that there is a lot of energy released. Lot of energy released. Understanding the point? More energy released. So this is the one point you have to understand. With increase in Z effective, EA increases. See, another point, we remember that Z effective is equal to Z minus sigma. Do you remember Z minus sigma? Z is constant. Z is the atomic number, na? It will be constant. So as sigma decreases, what happens to Z minus sigma? Increases. Z effective increases, electron affinity also increases. Understanding the point? Electron affinity also increases like this. Even not only for this one, you can apply this concept, this understanding for ionization energy and electronegativity also. The next point, electron affinity is inversely proportional to size. Why? What is the problem? If atom is small and you are trying to add the electron to the nucleus, you are trying to add the electron, to the valence shell, the distance between the valence shell and nucleus is lesser, that attraction will be more. Yes or no? Attraction will be more. The same thing if you are adding an electron to a bigger atom. So this is an electron. You are trying to add the electron to the valence shell. Already the nucleus, already between the nucleus and the valence shell, the distance is very far. If the distance is very far, then nuclear attraction for this electron onto the valence shell will be lesser. Yes or no? So here more energy will be released. Here more energy will be released. And here lesser energy will be released. So as size increases, the amount of energy released will be decreasing. That is what inversely proportional. Got it? Then third point, very important point, this one also, third one. This point I have given you for even ionization energy also. If stable electronic configurations are there, lot of energy is required to remove the electron. In the similar manner, if stable electronic configurations are there, then electron affinity will be very less. If it is energy released, it will be very less energy released, or sometimes energy will be absorbed here. Understanding? For stable electronic configurations, what are they? Half filled and fully filled. Electronic configurations, EA is very small or I will write to understand it better. For stable electronic configurations, EA is amount of energy released is very low, very small, or sometimes there may be absorption of energy. Instead of energy release, there may be absorption of energy. This example already I told you in noble gases. You see, it is a stable electronic configuration. Adding an electron to the stable electronic configuration, there is energy absorbed. Understanding the point or not? Even for nitrogen also, the electron affinity will be very less. That is, amount of energy released will be very small. The next point, periodicity. First, copy this page, re. Fatafat. Copy this page. Already 9:06. So we are having 24 minutes only left over. Down the hand once it is completed. Akshay. Now we need to discuss the periodicity, Anna. Periodicity in properties. Sorry, periodicity in electron affinity, particularly. In a period. From left to right in a period, what is happening? Z effective is increasing. If Z effective increases, electron affinity also increases. Then in a group, from top to bottom, size is increasing. With increase in size, what happens to electron affinity? Decreases. Understood this point? This is about electron affinity, Nana. This is about electron affinity. So if you have seen ionization energy, sorry, first we have taken atomic size in a, not atomic size, Z effective. Z effective. Left to right in a period. What is happening to Z effective left to right in a period? Increasing. And down the group remains constant. Remember this point, I have not explained this one. This needs much more knowledge. That is why I have not explained the periodicity of Z effective. Okay, down the group, it almost remains constant. It almost remains constant. Okay, na? After that, we have taken atomic size. So what happened to size from left to right? Decreased. And down the group? Increased. Yes or no? Down the group, increased. And then next we have taken electronegativity. Electronegativity from left to right, increased. Down the group, decreased. Then ionization energy from left to right, increased. Down the group, decreased. Then electron affinity from left to right, increased. Down the group, decreased. Understood? The way we have written, the same thing I have summarized all the things here. Remember this concept, very, very important concept. We'll move to the next page. Have you copied this one? Periodicity. This you can write by your own also. No need to copy. Or if you want, you take it that also. Yes, Balaji and Manan. With this, you might have understood another point also. Why I have not used Z effective down the group. Yes or no? Some of you have, I think one student has asked this question. This is a reason it almost remains constant. down the group. Very, very small difference will be there. And that much small difference we cannot use for practical purposes. Manan and Supreet, you two only are copying, eh? Do it fast. Manan, are you there? Okay. Next concept is covalent bond formation. Covalent bond formation. Okay. Covalent bond. A chemical bond formed by sharing of electrons is called covalent bond. A chemical bond formed by sharing of electrons between two atoms, let us write, between orbitals of, or okay, simply we will write between two atoms is called covalent bond. To explain the covalent bond, you see, I will simply give you some examples. There is a hydrogen atom, H2 molecule formation, let us assume. In this H2 molecule formation, hydrogen atom has one electron. Another hydrogen atom also will be having one electron, and these two together will share and will form a covalent bond like this. Understanding? Now, after covalent bond formation, you see, these are the two electrons counted with this atom and also with this atom. Understanding the point? Both atoms have contributed one electron into sharing. One electron, both atoms have contributed one electrons into sharing. So these two electrons together will be resulting in the formation of a covalent bond. And now, after bond formation, the bonded electrons will be counted along with this atom and also along with this atom. That means the bonded electrons, both the electrons together is the common property of both the bonded atoms. Suppose you two friends are there. One friend is investing 1 lakh rupees and another friend is also investing 1 lakh rupees. Both together, you will say at a time, any time, you will say that he is having 2 lakh rupees and he is also having 2 lakh rupees. It is not the summation like a 2 plus 2, 4 lakh rupees. He can feel that, yes, I am having now 2 lakh rupees amount. He also can feel, yes, I am also having 2 lakh rupees, because both together are kept in common. Understanding? So that is a formation of covalent bond. And in a similar manner, suppose you take a Cl2 molecule formation. In Cl2 molecule formation, and another point I will tell you, see, now this is a hydrogen atom with one electron, and this is a hydrogen atom with one electron. Hydrogen atom, s orbital with one electron, s orbital with one electron. Now these two orbitals will overlap with one another. 1s orbital of hydrogen, and this is also 1s orbital of hydrogen. Okay, na? These two orbitals will overlap to form the two orbitals like this. This is the nucleus of first hydrogen atom. This is the nucleus of second hydrogen atom. Two hydrogen atoms. And where are these two electrons present? These are the two electrons present, one electron like this and another electron like this. When the atoms are in uncombined state, we don't know what is the direction of their spin. Both may be clockwise, both may be anti-clockwise, one clockwise, one anti-clockwise. Different possibilities, we don't know. But during the formation of bond, both atoms will try to understand one another, that the two resultant electrons will be taking opposite spins, one in a clockwise spin and one in anti-clockwise spin. Understand? This region is what is called as overlapped region. Overlapped region. Orbital overlap region. And this is the region where you can find maximum probability to find the electron. Maximum probability to find the electron. And more is the overlapping of the orbitals, more will be the strength of the bond also. As extent of overlapping increases, covalent bond strength also increases. That is the reason why we say SS overlapping is weaker than SP overlapping, weaker than PP overlapping. When two p orbitals are overlapping, like here two s orbitals are overlapping, like when two p orbitals are overlapping, like this, you see. By now, you know what is s orbital, p orbital, d and f orbitals, yes or no? Extent of overlapping will be higher in case of PP overlapping. Therefore, the bond formed by PP overlapping will be stronger than the bond formed by SP overlapping than SS overlapping. Okay. And if both the atoms has to contribute one electron, this atom has to give one electron, this atom also has to give one electron, and these two electrons will be sharing it as a common property. That is the behavior of non-metals. Non-metals are the elements which will form the covalent bond, because non-metals will not lose the electrons, they will share the electrons. They will share the electrons. Understanding? The bond formed, a covalent bond is formed between two non-metal atoms or electronegative atoms. See here, copied this page. Somebody is copying still. Take it, Ray. Completed, everyone? Now one more, as we have 5 minutes last. If anybody want to ask, particularly any doubts? PP overlapping is greatest. The highest overlapping is PP overlapping. Venkat Tarun, a bond formed between a covalent, a bond formed between metal and non-metal is ionic bond. Yes, water molecule is also an example. Electron affinity, it is simply the energy released when an electron is added to outermost shell of an atom. Energy released when an electron is added to outermost shell of an atom. Ask the related doubts you ask. Don't unnecessarily deviate from the class. Isolated gaseous atom means the atom which is separated from other atoms. Hydrocarbons are also the examples. Yes, hydrocarbons are also examples. Any more doubts? Yes, Siddharth, I am done with the periodic table. It is now your turn to do with the periodic table. Yes, Z effective almost remains constant. Rahul? Anand, that is student to student, it is different. Nana. It is not about number of hours. It is about learning the concepts and applying them successfully. Properties of covalent bonds we will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Yes, if size decreases, the nucleus will be nearer to the valence shell. Shiva Sai. If size decreases, nucleus is nearer to the valence shell, and to that valence shell only you are adding the electron. So the electron you are going to add will be added nearer to the nucleus. If you are adding the electron nearer to the nucleus, and nucleus will have strong attraction for the electron, therefore more energy will be released. Understanding, na? Purpose of learning electron affinity, ionization energy, electronegativity, all these will be helpful throughout your chemistry. So these are the basic points on which properties of elements and reactions will depend. Give an example of electronegative atom. Highest electronegative atom in a a period will be the halogens. Fluorine is the highest electronegative atom. Cesium is the least electronegative atom. Start reading NCERT textbook. You will get many more points. Hai? Sir, does electron affinity and ionization energy is only for gaseous atoms? Yes. When you are isolating an atom, isolated atoms means always gaseous state only. Got it? If you take in solid state or liquid state, atoms will be very close. But you want to isolate the atom means it is in the gaseous state. Mohammad Rafi, I already told you NCERT books by now you should have bought them and sit with reading. EA2 is addition of EA2 is addition of second electron. It is the addition of second electron. Already it is an anion. To that, if you are adding second electron, this anion will show rejection, will repel the next added electron. Therefore, energy will be absorbed. Energy need to be supplied. Energy need to be supplied. Therefore, always EA2, EA3, EA4 and so on will be endothermic in nature. Okay. So we'll close the lecture by now and we'll meet tomorrow. So prepare well for the upcoming exam. Take care.